Hello, it's the end of February. There's a storm going on outside, so I'm working in here today and I'm counting my blessings. Throughout this past autumn and winter, I've been sharing videos made by friends of mine and other gardeners, and today I want to introduce you to a really close friend. Over the last 18 months or so, Lorella and I have become really close friends, to the point where we had plans for her to travel from America to come and stay with us for a week or so here at Byther Farm. And the plan was that she would come last May. Well, the pandemic put pay to those plans, so we had replanned it and thought perhaps this March. Well, we're still in the same situation, but hopefully before too very long, Lorella will be able to come and see us to meet my feathered friends here, to meet Mr. J, and to have a good look round what we're doing here. So today's video was inspired by a conversation we were having about the things that we learn without necessarily realising them while we're working in our gardens. I won't say any more right now, except when you've watched this, please consider going over to Lorella's channel and subscribing and watching a few videos there. She's witty, she's clever, and she's got an absolutely beautiful farm.
Today, I would like to share with you some lessons I've learned here in my garden. Life is seasonal. In the garden, you go through the times of planting, growing, weeding, harvesting, and then winter comes, and things seem to slow down a little bit. And sometimes gardening is abundance and joy and harvest, and sometimes it's struggle and hard work. In life, things are often much the same. There's often a time of toil and struggle and hardship before we get to enjoy the results of that hard work. My kitty's saying hi. Come here. Come here. Yeah, you say hi. Sometimes we go through seasons that aren't hard work seasons. They're just difficult seasons in life. A few years ago, I helped care for my dad at his end of life, along with my mom and my husband. And things sometimes were very difficult. There was a lot of times where it seemed so much to balance. I had my family, my job, my dad, helping my mom transition, trying to start a farm. And I just would remind myself, this is a season, and I can go through anything for a season. And you know what? That season is past, and I'm so thankful that I was there for my mom and dad in that difficult time. I'm so thankful for the time that I chose to spend with them. And now I get to enjoy this season. My girls have grown and gone, and it's just my husband and myself here on the farm. And it's a new season in life. So if you're going through something, I would encourage you to remind yourself that it's a season and you can endure through a season. In today's world of keyboard warriors and of criticizing anyone who doesn't think exactly the same way you do, it was so refreshing to me to meet gardeners, online or in person. They're some of the most generous people I know, with their knowledge, with their time, with their plants. Seeds are expensive, and people will just give you stuff. It's amazing. So I certainly encourage you to reach out to your fellow gardeners. Hi. My cat came back for more loving. Yeah, you can't attack the camera. Do you see the kitty on the camera? All right, go hunt mice. Stop. She's like looking like she's going to pounce the camera. Don't pounce the camera. What else was I going to say, Rocket, about that? What was I going to say, huh? I've had people send me seeds from across the country. I've had friends show up and work in my garden, and they just about bring plants every single time. It's pretty amazing, and it really restores my hope that people are generally good-hearted and kind. Sometimes when I come to work in the garden, it gets really overwhelming. It seems like there's just so much to do. What do you do when life seems overwhelming? When I'm coming across some tasks that are just too big for me to really handle, my natural defense mechanism is not to roll up my sleeves and get to work. My natural defense mechanism is I need a nap. Let's go pull up under the covers, hang out there for a few hours, because certainly by avoidance, by the time I get back to reality, someone else will have taken care of the problem, right? Doesn't work out so well for me. I hope you have a better coping strategy than that. And something that I've learned is so many times those big tasks that seem overwhelming really just take a couple of minutes if you break it down. When I come in the garden and I look around, I'm like, there's so many weeds. I'm never going to be able to get this done. I can... Thanks, buddy. It's Mr. Green Jeans, our rooster. When I come in the garden and I look around, I'm like, there are so many weeds. I can never weed this whole garden. So it'll be a lot easier for me if I just come out and say, okay, I'm going to weed this one bed. I'm going to take care of this one section. Then if I get that done, great. Anything else after that is a bonus. I have found that when I break tasks down, it's not quite as overwhelming. And I get the sense of accomplishment because, yoo-hoo, I did it. I finished the whole bed. I waited for the whole 30 minutes. And that kind of propels me to keep going. So I would encourage you that when you are facing something overwhelming in your life, not just in the garden, in housekeeping, in your job, in a project you want to do, break it down into the simplest possible tiny little steps. Because in life, when things seem overwhelming, sometimes if you just stop and take a breath and you say, okay, what's the first step? And just get that done. Take the next right step. And before you know it, you'll look back and you will have accomplished so much more than you ever thought you could. And certainly more than if you took a nap instead. It doesn't have to be perfect to be good. On YouTube, on Instagram, on Pinterest, I see all these lovely gardens and I want to be there. I have such high goals and high hopes every year and I'm just not there yet. Do you fall into the trap of looking at other people's gardens on YouTube and Instagram and Pinterest and then thinking, I'm never going to be able to have a garden that looks like that? I do. Or I think, oh, that's what my garden's going to look like next year. And then instead it looks like this. We all have limited time and resources, and we can't let the idea that we might not be perfect at something or our something, in this case my garden, isn't going to be good as so-and-so's, let that get in the way of our own successes. I'm feeding my family vegetables from the garden that I grew. That's a success, even if it doesn't quite look like the other gardens that I see online. But you know what? This imperfect garden, this garden that got overrun with weeds, this garden that isn't super well tended, is still providing my family food in November. I think we are on November 30th today at the time of filming. I have cabbage, cauliflower, kale, carrots, and celery and peas still producing in my garden. I want to encourage you, don't strive for a perfect garden. Strive for a productive garden. In life, wouldn't you rather be productive than perfect? Do you know any perfect people? Do you like them very much? I'm going to tell you a secret. Those people that you know that are perfect, guess what? They're not. They're really not. They're just doing the best they can with what they have. And really, that's all any of us are doing. We're doing the best we can with what we have. And the sooner we get over trying to be perfect and trying to look perfect and trying to have the perfect life and the perfect garden, the happier you will be. I would much rather be productive than perfect. Because you know what? Perfect is an impossible goal. There's always an area of improvement, always. So let's be productive, good-hearted, and kind and generous. Let's take our overwhelming tasks one little bite at a time. And let's remember that even in the most difficult of seasons, it's just a season and we can get through it. And you know what? We're in this together. Thank you, Liz, so much for giving me the opportunity to talk to your viewers, to make some new friends, to talk about these lessons that I've learned in the garden, and to share my rocket cat with all of you. I really appreciate it. And Liz, you're a good friend to me. Thank you. Thank you for laughing with me. Thank you for sharing my frustrations. And thank you for celebrating me every day. I hope that everybody who watches you knows what a kind, generous person you are. And you better not edit this part out. It was nice meeting all of you. Have a great week.
And thank you, Lorella, for your friendship, in particular through what has been a really tough autumn and winter season. if you want to know a little bit more why I find autumn and winter so tough and some of the things that I do to help that, I've written a book. It's called Grounded and it's out now. It's the story of transforming a relatively bare field into an edible paradise. And during that process, not only was the soil and the environment improved, so was my health. And so, wherever you are in the world and whatever you've got planned for today, I hope it's a good one. And I also hope you'll join me next time when I'm actually going to start gardening for this season. Hello, my lovelies. Hello.